Hello everybody. 105 years ago, the Battle of Delville Wood was still raging. For 4 horrific days, the shells rained in at 400 shells per minute. Imagine that. And the young South Africans stood there and withstood that onslaught. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them died. But not only were young lives destroyed, the great forest of Delville Wood itself was destroyed. The entire wood. In fact, there was only one tree that survived. And when you think that the wood was roughly the size of 63 hectares and that only one tree survived, it underlines just how devastating and how horrific was the destruction. In fact, if you go back to Delville Wood, you will find that tree. It's called the last tree. And as you approach it, you will see that in many ways it looks like the other trees. But if you bring a metal detector up to the trunk of the tree, which you're not allowed to do, but some people have done it, the tree or the metal detector begins to crackle, which indicates that as much as it is blossoming, it still has shrapnel in it. And every time I go to Delville Wood, I take time to stand there and think about the lesson of life. Because let's be honest, life does inflict some damage upon us. And so many of us walk around with shrapnel, as it were, in our souls. And the challenge is to be able to live a fruitful life with the shrapnel still in our systems. Now, we can't just be trite and say, well, you know, Jesus heals us from all the shrapnel. No, so many of us walk around with wounds. And you know, it's a real gift from God to be able to continue to live one's life despite some of the things that may have happened. There was a book that came out about 1.5 years ago, written by Viktor Frankl. Now, he's been dead for some while, but they discovered some of his old lectures, manuscripts, and they thought, let's put these together and put them out as a book. And the title of this book, written by Frankl, who had survived some of the worst atrocities of the concentration camps as a Jew in the Second World War. The title of the book was Saying Yes to Life in Spite of Everything. Hear that again. Saying yes to life in spite of everything. And that last tree that stands in Delville Wood is simply a very powerful symbol of those words, that it will not bow to the pain that is in its system. That tree is going to continue to stand through winters and summers. It is going to flourish in its due season. It is going to say yes to life in spite of the shrapnel that has been embedded in its soul. The last tree. And I think of Paul's words that in all things, whether we've been through shipwrecks, whether we've been through some really tough moments and times in our life, that in all things, not just some things, in all things, God works together for our good and His good to those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. What is that? But a determination to say yes to life in spite of the things that may have happened, precisely because we know we are loved and we are called to serve a living God. God be with you.